My name is Emily, and for most of my life, my parents never really believed in me. I was the youngest of three, and no matter what I did, it seemed like my older brothers, Daniel and Ryan, were the stars of the family. Daniel became a doctor, Ryan an engineer, and me? I was the girl who changed majors 3 times, worked odd jobs, and dreamed of being a lawyer without anyone thinking I'd actually make it. My parents loved me, but their love came with doubt disguised as advice. Law school's tough, honey, my dad would say. Maybe find something more realistic, my mom added gently. I smiled every time, nodded politely, and kept studying late into the night. When I finally got accepted into law school, they congratulated me, but I saw the flicker in their eyes, the unspoken, let's see how long this lasts. It wasn't cruelty, it was low expectations. 3 years later, I stood in my small apartment staring at the mirror, wearing my best suit, hands trembling. Today was the day I'd be presenting my first real case as a legal intern, in front of a judge. My mentor, Attorney Lewis, had asked me to assist him in a property dispute that had unexpectedly gone to trial. It wasn't glamorous, but to me, it was everything. I wanted my parents to see me in action, to prove to them that the girl they doubted could stand where they never thought she would. So, I invited them to the courthouse. They agreed, half curious, half skeptical. The moment I walked through the courtroom doors, I saw them sitting in the back row. My mom whispered something to my dad, and they both rolled their eyes, not out of malice, but disbelief, like they were humoring me. My heart sank, but I kept walking. The opposing counsel was an experienced attorney named Mr. Hayes, known for intimidating young lawyers. When the session began, my mentor leaned over and said, "Emily, you'll handle the witness questioning." My eyes widened. "Are you sure?" He nodded with a reassuring smile. "You're ready." My parents couldn't hear him, but they saw me stand up, and I'll never forget the look of shock on their faces. The judge, an older woman with sharp eyes, looked down at the paperwork, then up at me. "Ms. Bennett," she said, "are you representing counsel today?" My voice almost trembled, but I steadied myself. "Yes, Your Honor, I am." The judge's brow lifted slightly. "Very well. Proceed." My heart pounded so loudly I could barely think, but once I started questioning the witness, something shifted. The nervousness turned into focus. Every page of preparation, every sleepless night of study, every moment of doubt, it all led here. The opposing lawyer tried to interrupt, but I held my ground, calm and clear. When the witness tried to evade, I rephrased my question precisely. The courtroom was silent except for my voice echoing with confidence I didn't even know I had. At one point, I caught the judge watching me with quiet approval. After an hour, the session ended. The judge called a brief recess and looked directly at me. "Ms. Bennett," she said, "excellent composure and clarity for a first appearance." "Well done." The courtroom murmured softly, and I felt my throat tighten. I glanced at my parents, my dad's arms were crossed, my mom's lips parted slightly. For once, they weren't rolling their eyes. They were speechless. When court adjourned later that afternoon, we stepped into the hallway. My parents approached slowly, almost awkwardly, as if seeing me for the first time. My dad finally spoke. You were incredible in there," he said, his voice quiet but proud. My mom nodded, tears in her eyes. "Emily, we had no idea." I smiled, half laughing, half crying. "I know," I said. "That's why I wanted you to come." We stood there in silence for a moment before my mentor came over, shaking my hand. "Congratulations," he said. "The judge requested your name for the clerk's list, she wants to see more of your work." My mom gasped softly. My dad put a hand on my shoulder, and for the first time, I didn't feel like the family's uncertain one. I felt like someone who had earned her place. Later that night, we went out for dinner, my parents insisted. My dad raised his glass and said, "To Emily, the one we underestimated." I smiled and replied, "To the lesson that sometimes, people don't need to believe in you first. You just have to believe in yourself long enough to show them why they should." They laughed, but I could see the pride glowing in their eyes. That moment wasn't just a victory in court, it was a victory in my heart. Because finally, I'd proven that the girl they once doubted didn't just survive the challenge. She owned it.